Well, hello and welcome back to math. You notice we're kind of jumping around our math book a little bit. Before I send you home for your spring break, we're going to review some expressions. We're going to jump back to lesson 16, as you can see. What I would like for you to do is I would like for you to look at these letters here, A through F, and I want you to underline the key words in each statement. And what I mean by key words is, for example, some and twice. I want you to think of the words that help us know whether we're going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. See if you can go ahead and underline some of the key words, and let's check to see how you did. All right, well, if you haven't paused your video, we're going to go ahead and show those keywords. Here we have the word quotient. That means to divide. Down here on C, we have a raised to the power. So we're talking about power and increased and product. You might have underlined raised to let you know that you're putting it up to the power. D, I found here we have the word quantity, which helps me know I'm going to put something in parentheses, plus and divide. Letter E, less than, that trick one, less than. And then the word product means multiply. And then letter F here, I see the word times and increased. Okay, so let's go ahead and, like I said, we're going to review down here. Now, what I would like for you to do is I want you to go ahead and practice this by it says model how to change the expressions given in the opening exercise from words to variables and numbers. So last week we actually wrote the phrases. I had you guys use the words, and today we're going to go back to writing the expressions. So for example, letter A, where it says here the sum of twice B and 5. So I want you to write that. So I know I'm doing sum. Twice B would be this to me, plus 5. Some of you might even do like this, twice B plus 5. But remember, as mathematicians, we want to try and write things as small as possible. So go ahead and solve those three for me from B to D, and then we'll see how you did. So if you want to go ahead, pause your video. Okay, let's look at letter B here. Quotient. Quotient means I'm going to be dividing, and I'm going to divide the quotient of C and D. That might have been one way that you wrote it. Some of you I know have started writing your division problems like this. Letter C says A raised to the 5th power, then increased by the product of 5 and C. Ooh, there's a lot in there that we have to pay attention to. Let's see. Let's first of all look at the beginning. A raised to the 5th power. Well, A raised to the 5th power would be something like this. And then increased, well, increased means I'm going to add. And what am I adding? I'm adding the product of 5 and C. So product means 5 times C. And of course, I'm going to do the mathematician way, make it short. 5 times C. A to the 5th power, increased by the product of 5 and C. And last, D. D says the quantity of A plus B divided by 4. Quantity means A plus B needs to be in parentheses, and then I'm dividing it by 4. If I want to avoid the parentheses, I would have to write my division problem like this. All right, let's turn over to the next page. All right, let's go ahead and do E and F together. Oh, there's that trick, the trick right here. That less than, 10 less than. So I always like to do this right away. So I have 10 less than something. Well, product means multiply, so I'm multiplying 15 times C, which to me would be 15C. All right, F. 5 times D, then increased by 8. 5 times D. Well, that to me would be 5 times C. Increased would be plus 8. All right, very good. Well, we're going to move down now to actually some story problems, and we are going to see if we can write some expressions to go with the story. All right, so it says model how to change each real-world scenario to an expression using variables and numbers. Underline the text to show the key words before writing the expression. Let's look at our first story. Our first story is that Marcus has $4 more than Jason. So $4 more. That's kind of something important to me. And it says here, if Y is the amount of money Jason has. So Jason, remember here, is Y. write an expression to show how much money Marcus has. Well, Marcus has $4 more. He has four more than what? He has 4 more than Jason. Well, what letter stands for Jason? The letter Y stands for Jason. So Marcus, this would be what Marcus has. He has Jason's plus $4 more. Now, if I came over here and I told you that Jason had, let's say, $11. If I know that Jason had $11, I could find out Marcus by substituting here 11 in for Y, which would mean Marcus had $15. The only way I could do that is by substituting a number in. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next scenario. This one says Mario is missing half of his assignments. Missing half of his assignments, that's important. If A represents the number of assignments, write an expression to show how many assignments Mario is missing. Well, let's see. A represents the number of assignments. So Mario has this A assignments, but he's missing half. To me, that means I have to take his assignments and divide them in 2. I could also do the assignments divided by 2 like this. Either one of those expressions would work. All right, let's move down to the last situation here. All right, so let's see. Camilla's weight has tripled since her first birthday. If W represents the amount Camilla weighs on her first birthday, write an expression to show how much Camilla weighs now. Tripled means I'm multiplying by 3. I'm taking times 3, her weight that from birth. And if W represents the amount she weighed on her first birthday, we don't know what that is, that would be W times 3, and we would actually write that 3W. Now, we can't solve this expression unless I would tell you what the weight was. Well, what if I told you that her weight at birth was 20 pounds? If she was 20 pounds at birth, her first birthday, her first birthday, she was 20 pounds, what would she weigh now? Well, we would substitute that in here. Put my star this time, and we would say that she now weighs 60 pounds. Now, of course, we cannot solve that until we are given what W stands for. Okay, turn over to the next page, please. All right, let me read this next one to you, and I want you to go ahead and see if you can do it. Nathan brings cupcakes to school and gives them to his 5 best friends. Ooh, that's kind of important to know. He gives them to his 5 best friends who share them equally. Oh, that sounds like a division problem. If C represents the number of cupcakes, so we have to use the letter C, Nathan brings to school, write an expression to show how many cupcakes each of his friends receive. All right, see if you can write an expression for me using C and the fact that we have to give them to 5 best friends. All right, so he has this many cupcakes, 15, 10, 20, 30. We don't know how many cupcakes, so we're going to say that's how many. And he's going to share them with his 5 best friends, which means he has to divide it by 5. We could write the division problem that way or this way. Do we know how many cupcakes the friends are going to get? No, we don't know because we don't know how many cupcakes there are. If I told you that there were going to be 15 cupcakes, though, you then could solve the problem. You could put 15 in here for C and tell me that 15 divided by 5 is 3, so the friends will get 3 cupcakes. But once again, you can't solve this until you're told what the variable C stands for. All right, let's look at the next one. Mrs. Marcus combines her atlases and dictionaries. Oh, I wonder if you guys know what those are. And then divides them among 10 different tables. If A represents the number of atlases, so we have A for atlases, and D represents the number of dictionaries Mrs. Marcus has, write an expression to show how many books would be on each table. So she's dividing them among 10 tables, and she's putting the atlases and the dictionaries together. How would I write an expression for that? Well, I would write my expression probably something like this. So she has the atlases and the dictionaries together, and then she's going to take all those and divide them onto 10 tables. That's how I would write it. Some of you I know would probably prefer to do the atlases plus the dictionaries, put your parentheses, and then divided by 10 tables. If we don't do our parentheses, then you're going to divide just the dictionaries onto the 10 tables, and you're going to forget the atlases. Okay, last story. To improve in basketball, Ivan's coach told him that he needs to take 4 times as many free throws and 4 times as many jump shots every day. If F represents the free throws and J represents the number of jump shots Ivan shoots daily, write an expression to show how many shots he will need to take in order to improve in basketball. So I'm going to have to do the free throws and the jump shots. So this looks like an addition problem. 4 times as many free throws. Well, the free throws is F, so I have 4 times as many free throws. Oh, let's put a dot because we're going to get confused. And then I have 4 times as many jump shots. So I could write my problem like that, or mathematical, I would write it like this, because we are mathematicians. We want it nice and short. 4 times as many free throws plus 4 times as many jump shots. We could write it like that. Eventually, we're going to start talking about something called the distributive property, which means I could see that they both have a 4. I'm going to pull that out like this, put parentheses, and 5 plus J. Because we would take 4 times F and 4 times J. A little introduction to distributive property. All right, so let's look at what we have left. So you will notice that the next exercise is starting here. It says mark the text by underlining keywords and then write an expression using variables and or numbers for each statement. So we're going to read the statements. I see here I've got decreased and squared. Decreased means I know that I am going to be subtracting, so I need to put a subtraction button there. And it says I'm going to have B is going to be decreased by C squared. Okay, so I did the first one with you. I'm going to allow your teachers to kind of let you guys work at the pace you want to work at. I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to go ahead and solve as many of these as your teacher would like. Then you will turn the video back on, and when you turn the video back on, I will go ahead and have the answers here for you so you can see if you did it correctly. So go ahead and pause your video. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how we did. 24 divided by the product of 2 and A divided, and I have multiplying 2 and A, so I did 24 divided by the product of 2 and A, or I did this way, 24 divided by the product of 2 and A, or I even did it as a fraction. 3 different ways. Next one, 150 decreased by the quantity of 6 plus B. Quantity reminds me to put parentheses, so I have 150 minus 6 plus B. We want the parentheses so that we don't do the subtraction here first. The sum of twice C and 10. Sum means add, so I have twice C and 10. Number 5, Mario had $35, but then spent M. Well, spent means he's subtracting it, so I have 35 minus M. Number 6, Samantha saved her money and was able to quadruple the original amount M. Quadruple, you have to know that quadruple means the number 4. So she's taking that 4 times M, so I put 4 times M. Veronica increased her grade by 4 points. So here's her grade. She increased, so that's plus 4, and then doubled it. I did this a couple ways. Her grade plus 4, and then that was times 2. So make sure you put parentheses. I also did what we have here, the distributive property. Here's her grade plus 4, and this whole thing is being multiplied times 2. And number 8. Adabelle had M pieces of candy and ate 5 of them. Well, if she ate them, that's going to be subtraction. Then, he did. Then he split the remaining candy equally among 4 friends. So, ate the candy minus 5 and divided it among 4 friends. I did it 2 different directions. Number 9, to find out how much paint is needed, Mr. Jones must square the side length, which is S, so that'd be S squared, and then subtract 15. S squared minus 15. And the last problem, number 10, Louise brought X cans of cola to the party, Faith brought D cans of cola, and Deshawn brought 8 cans of soda. How many cans of soda did they bring all together? all together makes me know I'm adding. And so we had x plus d plus h. Okay, well, thanks for practicing with me again today. I hope you guys will have a great evening, and I will see most of you, I guess, in a week.